Well, what you see here is my big Canon 80D camera mounted on my tripod. And what I want to do today is try to build this situation into a overhead table shot. If that makes any sense, sitting here at my big dining room table, I want to be able to use this camera as an overhead shot. But I don't want to have some great big huge apparatus sitting on my table that I gotta move around and store and deal with. I want to build my tripod into being able to use this camera in an overhead table shot. So currently with the tripod, that is the best I can do for an overhead table shot. And I can't tell you how much that thing wants to tip over right now. All it needs is a little touch and that camera will fall forward, and we don't want that with a big Canon 80D like that. So I need to build myself a way to make an overhead shot with that tripod. I think I came up with a pretty good idea. So what I have done is took a little trip to the hardware store actually on my way home from work, and I picked up this piece of square wood and a few pieces and parts and spent about $6.50 on those. So the only other thing I need to make this project work is a ball joint camera mount that you see here on my Joby tripod. I don't have another one, so I will have to use this one off of here. I ordered one on eBay, but it's going to come from China and take probably 2 months. So that's not going to work, so I went ahead and took this one off of here for the time being, and we'll use that. So basically, I'm going to mount that on the end of the stick. The stick is, what, 3 feet long? I don't even know. We'll divide that in half and drill a hole right in the middle of it, and then mount that on top of the tripod where the camera's at. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And then we'll have a extended camera mount out there, but it's also going to pose a problem because it's going to make that tripod very unstable. And that Canon 80D is 2.5 pounds. That's a very big, heavy camera. So the other end of this will have to have some sort of counterweight on it. So let's go ahead and get started on building this nice little project so that I can have a overhead camera shot on my tripod. So indeed, my piece of wood is a 3-foot piece, exactly 36 inches long. And I have measured out my drill holes that I need to put in here exactly halfway. I need to put one. I'm going to put one another halfway mark just in case I need to be able to use that one. And then we're going to do the end piece for the Joby ball mount. I'll also need to drill a hole in the end of it and probably attach that great big bolt there so I can use that as some sort of a counterweight if I need it. So I'm going to be needing to drill holes 13 by 32 inch drill bit size. So I'll be able to insert the coupler into the piece of wood. Same way with the front piece, I will have to insert that coupler in here. And as you can see, the coupler is taller than the wood. So ultimately, I'm going to have to grind down this coupler because it needs to be flush with the wood, otherwise it is not going to be very tight. So that will come later on after we get our holes drilled. And then ultimately the coupler will be mounted on top of the tripod, and a bolt and probably a washer will have to go in that to secure it. So that is the idea. Let's see if this will work. So I have got my 3 holes drilled, and I've got the couplers inserted. As you can see, I definitely have a problem because the couplers are taller than the wood. So now we come to the grinding down of the couplers, and that's not going to be very easy. But I'm going to have to do that, otherwise things are just not going to fit nice and tightly. So I do not have an electric grinder to do this job. I am just simply trying to do it with this file. And unfortunately, it is going to take a year for me to do this, and I'm going to wear my file out because I have to take so much of the coupler off there in order to make that work. In the 10 minutes, as you can see, in grinding on this, I have done pretty much nothing, almost no progress at all, and I need to make a lot of progress. Like that much progress. That's how much I need to grind off. That's gonna take all day and a year. So what I'm gonna do today when I come home from work, I will simply stop at the hardware store again and I will pick up large enough washers to go over that. I don't really like doing it that way, but if I had an electric grinder, it would be fine. I could do it. But washers will definitely fill in that area, and I should have a nice secure fit eventually. Okay, it is the next day now, and there are the washers that I bought yesterday in order to finish this project up. I spent about $1 on those, a little bit more, so altogether the cost of this project is about $7.50. So I've done the camera mount in first. I had to do a little bit of rigging up to figure out a way to do that. You can see the washers are in between the Joby ball mount and the stick, so this is nice and solid. This will work, and it's going to be fully adjustable just by doing that. And as you can see, that's how my camera is going to mount. Now we'll do the center mount that will mount onto the tripod. So this will be the counterweight end, and now we have the pole mounted on the tripod at the halfway point, and you see down there is the Joby, and I can tell already this is way too much. I don't even have that tightened on there now yet, and it's just going to be too much of a strain on this tripod. So I'm glad that I cut this hole right there halfway in, and we'll try mounting on that instead. Okay, there we are. We've got our extended camera mount mounted on the tripod. Everything looks pretty good. I had to use quite a bit of washers to make that work. This is totally a custom job, so I will be able to use this if I want to, if I need to, but I think that angle there is going to be good. That's going to give me enough of an overhead shot so my tripod would be completely adjustable. It'll swing this way. It will certainly do this just fine. And of course I have the adjustment here that I can deal with. So that'll make a nice little overhead shot for some things that I want to do. Okay, so I have my big Canon DSLR on here. It's a mirrored camera and it's very heavy. It's like 2.5 pounds. But I've got it mounted on here and I don't feel really good about it because this thing is very, very unstable. It's holding together right now. I've got a counterweight on the back here. I just stuck a really large wrench on there. Don't even know what size that is. But it is doing it right now, but this, I don't feel good about this at all. I could still use it like this, but you got to be extremely careful because knocking that big DSLR onto the table is just not really an option. I would be better off using the camera that I'm filming with right now, which is this lovely little Sony Handycam. This thing weighs like 5 ounces. 5 or 6 ounces, so it would fit on there very well and not be anywhere near as heavy as this great big old Canon 80D. So chances are, and when I use this in the future, I'm probably not going to use the big DSLR on there. I'll just use the Sony camera. So I feel better about that. And as I said, my tripod is very, very cheap. It is not a big expensive tripod. It doesn't work real good, so I could certainly invest in another tripod. So that's going to be it for this project. $7.50 to build this little project, and it will work. It will work for what I want it to do. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.